think I'm live here. Sorry folks, just trying to get situated here, get everything set up. Okay. Everything good? Lighting looks a little, maybe it's just my screen here. Lighting look all right, guys? Getting enough light here? Problem is my microphone casts a shadow. There we go. It's not bad, I guess. Haven't painted live like this much, so I'm still getting used to the whole setup here and how to do a painting. I'm used to standing up and painting normally. But we'll make it work, of course. Anyway, how's it going, folks? How's it going? Thanks for joining. Thanks for tuning in. Would you mind listing the names of the paint colors you're using after the video? I mean, I can tell you right now what I'm using. You can just see it. Indian yellow, cadmium yellow medium, cadmium red medium, transparent red oxide, viridian, phthalo blue, which I don't really use, ultramarine blue, ivory black, alizarin crimson, dioxazine purple, cobalt teal, yellow ochre. That's pretty much it. So there you go. I can always talk about that. It's shaded darker on the right. I mean, I'm not going to be able to get even lighting. I mean, I only have, I don't have a whole studio set up here. So unfortunately, it is what it is. I can lighten it up a bit here. There we go. So let's get right into it. I'm going to start sketching out quickly. So my focal area is going to be kind of in the center. So I want to make sure I get placement of that correct. All the other stuff's kind of can go wherever, and kind of place it wherever here. I think I'm going to really modify the photo a bit. Thanks, Luke, for the good luck. I'm definitely going to need it for this one. Definitely going to need some good luck. So I'm starting on with the sketch. Yeah, one of the problems is my windows are over this way to the right, and I have the blinds closed, but they still kind of cast a shadow. I have the other light coming from the other way, so it's kind of, the lighting's a little bit weird because now it's staying lighter longer in the evening. So now I have a bunch of light coming in, which I didn't used to have. So I'm going to modify the composition a bit. I'm going to cut in the rock on the corner here so that you get more of a perspective towards the center. So I'm just loosely doing like some kind of rock shapes and stuff. I don't want to get too detailed with the sketch. I'm kind of just going to figure out in the painting part for the most part. So if you can see on the screen, this photo here is the actual photo, and then this is kind of a blurrier, more modified version of kind of what I might do with some shadowing and kind of give it more of a, shade the foreground a little bit more, have more light back here, so it kind of focuses your attention in certain areas and stuff. But doing rocks like this is usually very difficult for me, so I'm going to do my best to make this work. So I'm just going to get through this sketch real quick, and then we can get to the painting part, because I know it's kind of hard to see what I'm sketching here. And just some loose shapes, rock shapes, and some trees and stuff. One of the first things I'm actually going to do once I finish this sketch is use this. This is wax resist, and it's just like a crayon of clear wax. But what it does is I put this on the paper wherever I want to keep the paper white and have a little bit of texture. This is really great for the water, kind of the rapids of the water. You guys will see it kind of it resists the watercolor. It's a really cool little technique, very cool tool to utilize. So that's what I'm going to be using. And the cool thing is you can put a wash down, let it dry, and then put this on top of it, and then do a wash again, and it'll leave that lighter color of the wash that you put down. It's a really cool effect for texture and stuff. So a lot of these rocks and stuff, I'm going to simplify, try to simplify when I'm painting it. But like I said, I always have trouble with these values and stuff, or with the rocks, I mean. So it's going to be challenging. I'm just trying to mentally figure out some of the values here. All right, that looks pretty solid. We're going to have some trees back here. It's going to be a lot of shadowing back here, right against kind of this focal area, which is much brighter. Yeah, we're gonna, hopefully I can pull this off. So that's pretty much it. Looks pretty cool, I think. Like I say in every live stream, I'm feeling pretty good about this. So it's a little early to say that for this, but we'll see. I'm going to lighten this up, this whole sketch up a little bit maybe, just because I don't want it to be too dark, especially around the light areas, my focal point where I want more of white of the paper. And some of these rocks are going to be a little lighter. So I'm just going to lighten some of that up. Okay, so now I'm going to use this wax resist and just kind of put it kind of everywhere where I want the white of the paper. And you're not really going to be able to see where it's at. The only way to see it is when you, I've had a few people complain like, yeah, I tried using that stuff and I can't see where I've already put it down. And I don't know if you'll be able to see it on here, if I can put it at the right angle. Not really, but really if you hold it up to the light a certain way, you can see where you've put it down. But you guys, I can't get you the right angle for some reason. No, but you guys get the idea. You'll see like a little sheen of where it's been. And what it does is it's going to give me like these little water looking effects going up against these rocks and stuff. Just throw some of it down here a little bit, not too much. I'm just double checking myself here. Just want to make sure I'm getting some. All right, we'll try that out. So I'm going to start out with like, I'm going to first start out by wetting my paints. So I just kind of sprinkle some water in here, kind of reactivate them a bit. You know, or contaminate them, but it's all right. And the kind of paint that I use is called M Graham. That's the brand. Really cool paints. I like using them. All right. So So hopefully the process for this will be better than the last live stream painting that I did. The last live stream painting, it was kind of a crazy process. So I'm going to try to make it a little more standard this time for folks trying to like learn this and follow along kind of. And basically the way to think about it is try to do your painting in 3 to 4 stages, and it's very hard for me to do that sometimes. It depends, you know, I haven't done a lot of watercolor yet myself to be good enough to do it. And sometimes I overwork it, a lot of times I overwork it. But it's basically like a light, you do the light washes and then some of the mid-tone washes and then a dark wash and then like maybe some of the very darkest darks, like dry brushing at the end. You know, there's some way to think about it like that. So, can you please do a snake one day? Yeah, that'd be cool. Do a drawing of a snake or a painting or something. That would be definitely cool. I don't know if you're familiar, Hillary, with my channel, but I have over 100 episodes. I have a whole playlist, 100 episodes of plein air watercolor videos. So that's normally what I do. I normally do go outside and do plein air sketches like all the time. This is only my second watercolor live stream. Yeah, I would use normal lighting in my studio if my studio was set up a little bit differently, but since I'm right-handed, it would be a shadow across the whole painting every time. So I'm going to start out with some light washes. Basically probably hit this whole foreground area with the color of the rocks and maybe vary it once I get to the water. We'll add a little bit of viridian and stuff. It's good to plan out what you're going to do because watercolor takes a lot of planning. So actually I'm going to switch my reference photo. Okay, there we go. So now for me. Hello Clyde, how's it going? Thanks for joining, man. Good to see you here. Hope everything's going well. So the color of these rocks is like transparent red oxide and a little bit of ultramarine blue. But I am going to keep maybe a little bit of yellow ochre too, a little bit on the warmer side. I'm just going to vary it as it goes along. Just mixing up a little bit of color here. So we can see if I can make this, get this how I want. Just throw a little bit of blue in there because it's going to be more shadowy in this area. And this is the beginning layer, so I don't want to keep it kind of loose if I can. A little touch of yellow ochre there. Just get like the warmth of the light. So this is, I'm using a lot of water here. And I'm just going to hit the whole page actually. I'm just varying my color mixtures. So now I'm going to hit the, I'm going to go up this whole background. It's basically trees and stuff. So I'm just going to simplify all that. We're going to hit with some cadmium yellow, yellow ochre, ultramarine blue. Just a bunch of different kind of colors. Mostly warms right now though, because I want to do the light. Whatever's going to be the light of the trees back here. And usually the light of the trees, when you're painting it, I've noticed with like watercolor painting, you really want to make it more yellowy green than you think. And it's really going to make it pop. You know, give it that look of warm light. Cool this down a bit. So I'm going to go into some Viridian, maybe a little bit of ultramarine blue as well. I'm going to do the water, kind of the middle part. We're leaving most of this white because it's very bright in the painting, but more down toward the bottom here. And I'm going to mix a little bit of transparent red oxide into that to brown it, kind of gray it down a bit. And I'm going to use just like water now. I'm gonna really kind of thin this out over this wax resist that I used earlier. Really want some of that to stay light, white. There's a little bit of color in through here. And then a very rich, kind of a greenish brown right back in here. So you see it's kind of bleeding back there, but that's okay. Just let it do its thing. I know this probably looks really crazy, but that's all right. This is the first stage. This is kind of how it goes sometimes. But you can kind of see how the wax resists, creating these textural. You can see where I kind of drew some of the lines and stuff. It's creating this texture. So this is how I kind of start a watercolor painting, believe it or not. Like I said, I mean, these first stages, it just looks, it's gonna look a little crazy sometimes. So basically what I'm gonna do now is just let this all dry. And I can take a moment here. See, this is kind of where my focal area is going to be, and then everything is just going to get darker around all of this. Let me focus my camera here. There we go. Yeah, so the wax resist, let me try to zoom in here. I mean, it wasn't a very good example of it, but you can kind of see it does resist some areas. It gives a little bit of texture. I'll probably have to use more of it in the future, but it does give this little bit of textured edge, this textural effect. You know, if you look at a lot of, actually, man, I wish I could find, while this is drying, actually, I might go grab a book real quick of some Sargent paintings, some watercolor paintings. We can kind of take a look at a few minutes while this is drying, if you guys are up for that. Yeah, I mean, these are really great. You can find them on Amazon. Just type in like wax resist and you'll see like a little package. I think it's like $6 for like 4 of these or something. You know, it's kind of, it seems expensive, but I mean, this is the first one I've used, and I've had it for a few months now, and I barely even used it. Like, it's, you know, it's something you don't use a lot for the most part, or it'll take a long time. They'll probably last me a few years. Let me go grab a book or two really quickly here. It's only gonna take me about a minute, just in the other room. We're gonna let this dry, and we could take a look at some of Sargent's watercolors. He used a lot of wax resist, and that's kind of where I learned it from, looking at his painting and stuff. Give me 1 second. All right, folks. I don't know if I grabbed the right ones. I have the whole set here of these Sargent books. They're kind of expensive, but it's taken me a few years. But I think there's 9 books in the series. I have all 9 books, believe it or not. And it kind of depresses me because I hate having a lot of stuff. But these books are really, really great, man. It's basically a catalog of all of his work, if you like Sargent paintings. I don't know that I grabbed the right ones. Yeah. I think I need to go grab a few other ones. Let me see. This might have a few watercolors, but not what I'm looking for. So here we can see a few of his watercolors. And you can see how sketchy he is, how loose he is. And believe it or not, this is a 10-inch by 14-inch painting right here. So this is bigger than the one that I'm doing. I'm doing a 9 by 12. And he did a lot of larger paintings like that, 14 by 17 inches. And give me 1 second, guys. Trying to figure out this setup here. There's another one. That's a 14 by 17. So really good values, but just crazy. I mean, crazy when you look at close up, these kind of textures and stuff that he did. I mean, very chaotic, but beautiful, beautiful color. Yeah, but that was not what I was looking for. Let me see. This is still pretty damp. So let me go grab the other books real quick. We can take a look at what I was trying to show you with the wax resist. I don't have a hair dryer, believe it or not. Look at my hair. You think I need a hair dryer? I actually don't have one to dry the painting. So going old school with it, you just actually use some patience. I actually like just being patient. So, but while we're waiting, we could at least take a look at some inspiration and maybe it might help me tackle this painting a bit. 1 second. Okay, all right, I got all 9 books now. So actually this is probably one to look at. Venetians, Figures, and Landscapes. I think this whole book is almost nothing but watercolors. So this might be something to look at. And look at this watercolor that he did. I mean, isn't that incredible? And here, wax resist, all right here. See that? You can see where he made these crayon marks. So what he did was put this light wash down first, let it dry, did some wax resist, and then when he did dark over it, that wax kind of resisted that darker wash, let the light color show through. So that's what I'm trying to show. But this is probably one of my favorite watercolors he did. Really crazy work. Henrique, I live alone. I don't have, it's just me now. So there's nothing to borrow, just so you know. Yeah, so let me, I mean, a lot of his watercolors are very sketchy, but I really enjoy the sketchier watercolors because for me, I don't know, there's something about sketches that just have way more energy. Oh, come on, my cat just jumped on my lap. Okay, this is not the time. Go, 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 go. There's something about painting sketches that just have more energy than finished paintings, to me. So like I've always enjoyed sketches way more than finished works. This is a lot of architecture and boats and stuff. And a lot of these were probably plein air as well. I'm sure he did a ton of plein air, ton of paintings. I wish I could find more wax resist. Now that I'm looking for it, I can't find it. He also used gouache as well, sometimes. Believe it or not. But here we go. I mean, really great watercolors. That's an 11 by 17. But you can see how simple it actually is. I mean, it's just these bold brush strokes. I mean, if you take a look at that close up, just bold brush strokes. I mean, it's very abstract up close. I mean, it's almost nothing. Like what? But when you look at it far away, he's got the values there. Makes it work. And the colors aren't even that realistic. I mean, it's yeah, a lot of his stuff is not. This is about the size of paper that I'm working on. And look how bold he is. I mean, just look at the strokes here. It's just very, very loose. Everything's kind of melting together. You can barely tell what it is for the most part, but up close, I mean, far away, kind of makes sense. So I love looking through these whole books, just at all the work, watercolors that he's done on location. Just really cool. Yeah, I was hoping I'd find some more wax resist. Maybe we could look at that later, but anyway, let's see if this is pretty much dry for the most part, almost. Yeah, the alligators are incredible. That was only a part of the painting, actually. He did a few of the alligators. Let me find those real quick, because those are amazing. So I hope you guys enjoyed seeing those. I mean, there's plenty more to look at. We can always take a look at more, no doubt. I just figured we'd kill some time, show some things while this is drying, this first layer. Normally, I don't really start a painting like this. Normally, I would do one section, and then while that's drying, I'll move to another section, and then, you know, I kind of finish it more. But I figured this is kind of more of a standard method, like light washes, and then next we can do like a mid-tone type of wash. You know, get some darks in there and stuff. Where are the alligators? Yeah, this is one of my favorites too. I mean, look at that, of the soldiers. I mean, that's incredible. Incredible work. And I'm pretty sure it's painted from life. So, I mean, it's pretty crazy. Pretty crazy stuff. Yeah, he definitely used pencil sketches before starting. I mean, you have to have some kind of sketch. Yeah, all of these actually say that he used watercolor on paper over preliminary pencil. So he used pencil first. I mean, nobody just starts with just paint unless you're doing like oil painting and you can actually draw with the paint. But watercolor, you can't really do that. You got to have pencil sketch first. Yeah, he's done some really good stuff like this too. I mean, look at these, how simple it looks, but how realistic it looks because it's so simplified. And he just gets the values correct. I mean, it's really crazy. And I love how he does palm trees. You can just see the wild use of color he has. I mean, just straight ultramarine blue almost. Or some ultramarine blue with a mixture of a little bit of red or something. Yeah, he did the alligators in 1917. Yeah, the problem is he did a lot of painting in 1917 in this whole book. Oh, here we go. This is what I was trying to show. This is a lot of wax resist right here on this water. So see how he did that? This whole painting has a lot of wax resist actually. So over here in the greenery as well, a little bit of wax resist there. So he's able to get this textured effect that you can't really get any other way except for like dry brushing, but with dry brushing you're going to get a texture, a dark texture. I want to find these alligators real quick and then we'll go to the next stage of my, hopefully a good painting here. I don't know why alligators are on the cover, but they're not in the book. It's kind of a bummer. Anyway, if you guys have any questions or anything as I'm going, just let me know. Here's a cool photo actually. If you guys want to see this, this is kind of interesting. So this is him on a boat, I believe. His little setup. He has an umbrella tied to his leg to hold it up, I guess. And then he has this little easel, his palette's in his hand. So that's pretty cool. And there he is painting a figure in life, from life. So there you go. Some interesting stuff. Really interesting stuff. Hope this isn't too boring for you guys. But he's really great painter, one of the great painters. So I always like looking back at his stuff, getting some inspiration. Anyway, this is all dry now, so let's get into this. Try to figure out what I should do next here. I think I'm going to start at the top and work my way down. Normally this would be tilted a little bit and it would it'd just be a little bit easier to paint this, but since I'm doing this on a stream, we're just going to go with it. Try to do my best here, folks. So I'm going to start at the top. We're going to do some green. So ultramarine blue, cadmium yellow. So I know maybe a little transparent red oxide to kind of gray it off a little bit, keep it more gray. So I know right back here is going to be a lot of shadows later on. So I'm going to try to keep this loose, and if you notice the color, I didn't really mix it completely, so there's some, you know, it's always cool to have your color be, you know, have a few different colors mixed in and just let it kind of mix around and do its own thing. That's the really great thing about watercolor, is like to just let it do its own thing. So I'm just trying to suggest like tree shapes and stuff. I'm not getting too crazy about it here. No, I don't ever use masking fluid really. I find it, I don't know, I used it a few years ago. It's really just a pain. I mean, I think it can be useful. Just for me personally, I'm not a fan. I'm not a fan to be honest. But I like using the wax resist for the most part. And if I need to keep the whites of the paper, I just do my best to keep the white. But I know there is some times where like, it's going to be useful. Like you have to use it, but I haven't really found a use for it yet, to be honest. And what I'm going to do now, while this is still kind of wet, I can soften some of these edges here. Something just kind of create another little value there, but not, I don't want to complicate it. I just kind of want to, this is all trees back here, so I want to try to keep some softness. I'm just using a little bit of water to soften some things. Otherwise, if it looks too harsh, you kind of lose that tree type of effect. So this is all rocks up here, so I'm not too worried about keeping that soft. You kind of want that hard edge for the rocks. Hello, welcome. Thanks for joining, everybody. Thanks for tuning in. Hope everyone's doing well. Hopefully this painting comes out well. Trying my best here, folks. Trying my best. So I'm just trying to make this look as natural as possible. Like, there's just a lot of little things growing and stuff happening, and it looks pretty foresty back there. And you can see the different kind of colors I have going on. Let everything mix around, bleed around, have some fun. And it makes it look very natural. Like if I did everything one solid color, then that's not really how nature works. It doesn't really just have like one solid, nature doesn't really have one solid color. It doesn't really work like that. Someone commented, fortunately I can't really pronounce your name, but I keep having a love-hate relationship with watercolor. Yeah, welcome to being an artist, basically. I think I have a love-hate relationship with it as well. It's pretty challenging for me. All right, so I'm pretty happy with this, I think. Maybe tweak some of this just slightly. Get some better shapes in there, a little bit of dry brushing or something. Okay, I think that's pretty good, So now I have to work on these dreaded rocks. That's the thing I'm dreading. for the most part here. So transparent red oxide, ultramarine blue. That's going to give me kind of this rock color, maybe a little bit of purple or something, a little bit of yellow ochre. Just kind of a bunch of different little colors here. Maybe even some viridian in there. It's always nice. So one thing I missed was this kind of rock in the water. And that's probably too dark, but it's all right. We're just gonna, there's another rock here as well. Keep that lighter. You can see that wax resist kind of working there, which is cool. I like that. Just cleaning my brush off here. I got a lot of paint on it, so I'm trying to get clean as best I can because I want to take out some of this. Anyway, let's not mess with that too much. So I think I'm gonna hit the wet part of the rocks, which is near the water. It gets a lot warmer. The rocks get really more kind of glossy and rich looking. Probably start back here. And it's mostly transparent red oxide, a little bit of yellow ochre. Maybe a touch of ultramarine blue just to darken it, or a touch of purple, you know, something like that. And I am going to vary it here and there, maybe a little more yellow ochre in some spots, just to give it a little variation. Is it true that watercolors allow only 20% Chinese white? I have no idea what that means. I don't think you should follow any rules or anything like that. I think you should use whatever you want to use. And don't follow any of these rules like, oh, we can only use this much white or this much. Yeah, that's just silly. Use whatever works, because what matters, the process doesn't really matter. To be honest, what matters is the end result. And I think some people don't, you know, they get caught up in these kind of dogmatic type of views, like, oh, you can only, you know, you shouldn't use this, or you got to do it this way, or if you don't do it this way, then you're not a true artist. You know, it's just like, it's so silly. Like, everybody just needs to calm down and do what works. Can you remember the biggest piece you've done with watercolor? Not too big, honestly. You know, maybe like 11 by 14 or something like that. You know, a quarter sheet or something. Yeah, I haven't gone too big yet. All right, so I'm trying to just stay focused here, stay calm. Okay, I lost my reference photo. Let me pull that back up. Here we go. Okay, so the water here is really interesting. So there's rocks underneath the water here. So I'm gonna have to try to figure out how to handle that eventually. So these rocks are all going to be in shadow in the foreground for the most part. So what I'm trying to do is keep like a unified, I mean, I am using similar colors everywhere around the paper. And what I'm trying to do is unify the painting a bit by doing that. It basically gives it kind of a color scheme. So that's kind of what I'm trying to do here. You know, if you use too many different, if you vary it too much, then that's the one thing about a painting. Like if you too much harmony is boring, but too much variety is chaos. So you have to find a middle ground. So some rocks are a little bit grayer, just kind of adding a bit of planes and variety and stuff, just to give a little difference to some of these rocks and stuff. But you know, this stuff isn't really that important. I don't want to get too caught up with little things off to the side. I definitely want to soften this because I don't want your eye to be way down here. I'm probably going to do a wash. Actually, I'm probably going to do a shadow wash right now over this part. A lot of ultramarine blue, a little bit of purple, transparent red oxide slightly. Some kind of cooler wash. Try to get some shadowing in or something. Let's give it a shot. Same thing on this side. I just want to keep foreground a bit darker and shadowy, and then we're going to have like more of a spotlight kind of effect or something. So a little bit of Viridian in this mix. Same mix as last time, but a little more Viridian. Ultramarine blue. I'm going to try to hit this water up here once again. So what I want to be careful of is this transition from this darker foreground to this lighter color. I want to really be aware of how much I'm putting down, do a little bit of textured strokes and stuff, have some fun with it, maybe soften it. And I may have to add a little bit more color there, lighter color. of Viridian, just to give it more of a transition. Something like that, possibly. Okay, I think I missed some comments here. Let me scroll back up. Which brush am I using? It's a Princeton Neptune number 8. I forgot what kind it's called. It's technically like a mop, but there's another name for it. Somebody commented last time what it was. I can't remember. Unfortunately, I can't remember what it's called. Yeah, if I remember, I'll let you know. But it's kind of a fatter brush. Really like using this one. A lot of fun. So this is looking pretty crazy right now, but we're still, you know, this is the middle stage of the painting, kind of. Yeah, so it looks like the whole foreground and everything, at least the water, might need one more wash. Once it dries, I'm gonna go over right now, get some Viridian ultramarine blue, and I'm gonna go over this part of the water here, create a little bit more contrast there, and kind of get in the color that I want for that, hopefully. Try to keep it loose a little bit. Maybe that's a bit dark, so we'll lighten that up slightly here. It's going to dry a little lighter anyway, but I want to lighten up some areas of it just so you can see the color of it. There we go. It's kind of cool. I think this a little bit as well. A little more color of this water. There we go. All right. I think I'm making pretty good progress here. Or I'm very delusional. What do you guys think? It's a quill brush. There we go. Yeah, quill. That's it. How did you decide on what price to ask for your artwork? I mean, it's pretty complicated. It's a little complicated. I account for materials, a little bit of the time I spent, and you know, there's a whole little formula to do. Like how much I want to make per year, and then how long does a painting take me to do? How much money do I make per month or how much money, if I want to make that much per year, how much do I need to make per month, per day, per hour? Break it all down like that, account for materials and etc., all that kind of stuff. I think I missed some of the questions. I apologize, folks. How are you spending your days nowadays? Just working from home, work, graphic design. Do you mostly use dry paper, not wet on wet? I do wet on wet sometimes. I do a mixture of both. I mean, you have to do a mixture of both for the most part. But I do like painting wet on dry a lot. It just depends. It just depends on the subject and stuff and how I'm feeling. All right, so this is all dry up here, it seems. This is a little damp in the foreground. So I'm going to start working back up here now because I'm getting bored. I want to hit the very last, hopefully darkest darks right now. Some dark shadows in these trees. So I'm going to try to use less water if I can and just try to get a little bit darker. We'll see how this goes. You know, it's always interesting. Not really ever sure how it's going to turn out. Like, am I going to go too dark? Is it not going to look right? But I can't worry about it. Just got to give it a shot. So just softening some of the edges here a bit. Just trying to create some interesting foliage shapes and stuff. Like I said, I have no idea if this is like good for it or if it's gonna work. I'm just doing my best here, folks. Try to keep some of these tree shapes softer. And hopefully it's coming out. Hopefully it's looking like something. I may have to glaze like a little bit of green in there. I kind of lost some of the foliage green, but we're not going to worry about it right now. Let's just keep going. Keep it moving, keep going. Let's just move to these rocks, I guess. Sorry, folks. I just gotta stand up for a minute. I gotta see this from far away. It's hard to sit down and paint. I just can't. This photo is from Big Trees State Park in California, and it's the Stanislaus River, the North Fork of the Stanislaus River at Big Trees State Park. One of my favorite places to go. Incredible place. It's a giant sequoia forest, and then if you drive about 9 miles into the forest, like past the forest into the wilderness and stuff, there's this amazing just river. You can go, I've climbed down on these rocks and stuff. I actually did plein air sketch on these rocks of this part of this river back in like October. I mean, it's just an amazing place. All right, I'm feeling good about this, I think. I'm liking the effect. I think I just need to darken down the rocks in foreground a little bit, and I think we're pretty much there, hopefully. I may need to darken down some of this. Actually, let me turn down exposure here a bit. You guys can see it a little bit more clearly there, I think. That's more of what I'm seeing. So a little bit more definition in the water and stuff. So there we go. That's a better look at it, I think. A little more accurate look. Can you paint on sketchbook paper? Probably not. It depends on the how thick the paper is. Like, what is the poundage of the paper? It has to be a thick stock to be able to do that. Otherwise, the paper's going to fall apart. I mean, you can try it, but that's the only thing you can really do is just try it. Just tear a sheet out of the sketchbook and see what happens. Yeah, I mean, it's a pretty good brush. Holds a lot of color, a lot of water. That's why I like using it. Okay, this seems pretty dry. This is a little bit wet still. I think what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna lightly glaze these rocks back here to be warm. just to get more of the water to pop out. And I'm also going to glaze the trees a bit. I want them to be a little more green in some areas. So yeah, I hope you guys are enjoying this little video. Hopefully it's helpful in some way. I don't really like doing this sometimes. It's kind of overworking it, like hitting it some of the areas again, but it's kind of necessary slightly, I think, just to give, I kind of lost some of the midtones there. So I need something between the light and the shadow, basically, and I'm just trying to bring that back a little bit. Honestly, I could. This whole area could be kind of darker, simplified, slightly, just slightly, because I feel it's a little distracting. And trees are usually one of the darkest things in a landscape, believe it or not. Even trees in light are very dark. I mean, when you look at the photo, trees in light are pretty dark. There we go. I think I feel better about that, honestly. So, yeah, I'm almost afraid to touch the foreground again, but I think I need to, at least the water here slightly. Just hit it a little bit darker, and then maybe the rocks again, but maybe not. Maybe just part of the rocks. But this I'm pretty happy with for the most part. Yeah, the brushes are expensive. That's why I only have like one or two of them. Actually, I have a few of them, but I kind of invested. I got some other round brushes. But this one's really my favorite that I always use. But that's really all the brushes I have. I have this other cheap one here that I thought I might use for this painting. It's a pretty good size. I usually use this one in my plein air sketches, my smaller plein air sketches. It's a good type of sketching brush. And so is this one as well, this 16 round. It's pretty good. Oh, and I have this one as well, this smaller. I never really use these smaller ones because you can get small marks with these bigger brushes. Like all these small marks I've gotten with this brush. Yeah, this is a block of Saunders watercolor paper, but I do have a whole stack of, over here I have a whole stack of Arches sheets. I have like 20, I think, 10 or 20 sheets of Arches that I'm still using for this year. Okay, let's see, what do I do now? What do I do now, folks? Do I darken this water a bit? Do I try to push it more? I think I have to. I think I have to push this water a bit more to separate it from the rocks. And maybe darken it here a bit. And then we'll get this light effect. I think that's what I'm going to go for. Because I really like how this looks. I really like how the shadowing looks on these rocks. I just may need darkest darks right at the end here on some of these rocks after this wash on the water in the foreground. So a lot of ultramarine blue here, transparent red oxide. Once again, that's how I usually get my darks. Transparent red oxide, ultramarine blue. Get a nice rich dark. I'm gonna add a little bit of Viridian since this water is kind of turquoisey green. Try to get a lot of Viridian in there. I wish I need to find a different color than Viridian. That's something that's I don't know, just better. I gotta touch the water though, because it's the same value as these rocks. I gotta separate it. I mean, if you look at the reference photos, it's gonna make things pop, I think. I know I don't want to touch it. I know what you're saying, but thanks for stopping by, Lee. Appreciate it. Thanks for the comment. I think I gotta touch it, guys. I mean, because this is a stage where I gotta go for it. Like, I put really dark darks back here, which maybe was a mistake. They're actually not that dark. For some reason on the camera they look really dark, but they're not super dark like that. But I think I gotta have the darkest darks up here. Yeah, let's do it. Let's do it. I gotta try it. Gotta try it, guys. I'm sorry. But if I don't risk it, then I'm not really living life, you know? Gotta take a risk. Yeah, you see that? See that rich dark now? You guys thought it was already done. That's why I'm painting this thing here. I'm just kidding. I really don't know what I'm doing. Just doing my best. Let's feather some of this out. Soften this slightly. You know what I'm really missing in this painting is some splattering. That's what I've been missing. Why are you guys so afraid? No, don't darken the water. I had to do it. Had to try it. Had to try it. Ugh. Oh yeah, it looks way better. Looks way better from back here, man. I don't know, on the screen it looks a little weird. But in real life, I'm telling you, it looks way better. I think I need some splatters, man. That's what this thing's missing, some texture. I need some texture in the trees. Yeah, there we go. Makes it a little loose now, a little more loose. See that, guys? See that? We needed some background texture. I don't know. I still may need some more, I think. Anyway. Maybe even just a little bit. Some of these rocks. Just a little bit, just a little bit. I like it too much. I like splattering too much. I need texture. If it looks just flat and boring, it's boring to me. Come on, kitty. Say hi to everyone. Say hi to everyone. Go on. Okay. Now what? What do I do now, guys? I probably am crazy. There we go. See that texture? I like that. Need more color in what way? They need more value or just more color? What does more color mean? I mean like over here, like they need like some variation in there. Probably right. I was thinking the same thing. Let's see, what time is it? 7:04. Oh, my laptop is about to die. Gotta charge it. Got to plug it in. There we go. Okay, we're good. Yes. Just making all of this up. Okay. So I don't know. Okay. Maybe. If I want them, see, I don't know if I want them that dark over there. I kind of want to keep it unified with the rocks. Yeah, I'm not really sure. I'm not really sure, to be honest. I think I know one thing I want to do. Anyway, all right. I'm just like overworking stuff now. Yeah, I mean, I think it's pretty much it. The only thing I could really do is kind of like I could add some more like twigs and leaves and stuff like in the background, like just to like, because some of them, they're all very light right now. So if I just put in like some darker ones to bring some of them forward, it might help it a little. Like, let's see now, yeah, we have some stuff. I just think, yeah, that's unfortunate. You know, I could lighten it up, but if I could really do, is maybe because this, I don't like this whole arc that's going on there. Yeah, I don't know. What's going on here? Something popped up. Okay, great. Internet problems, of course. I can bring down some of this shadowing or something. I really don't know. But yeah, I don't think any of this is going to help it further, so. I think it looks pretty good. Actually, you know what we should do? Let's take the tape off. Let's take the tape off. Yeah, I could bring more green back there, huh? Let's just take the tape off and see what it looks like without the tape, because that's going to help, I think. And I don't want to spend too much longer on this. It's almost, you know, it's been like hour and a half now or something, so I got to eat dinner and stuff. I got other stuff to do tonight. Sorry if I missed any questions or comments. Just ask them again or post it again so I can see them. I don't have my paper tape down. It's on a block. It's a watercolor block, so they're all glued together. I just taped the edges. I can't get this last piece of tape off here. Come on, there we go. So there is kind of the final. I think it looks pretty nice. It's definitely like a weird lighting scenario, that's for sure. I think I went too dark back here, so I should have thought about that. I should have thought about the depth in the painting. And the shadows should have been just a little bit lighter like this back here instead of this really dark. You know, I should have saved that for the foregrounds here. Unfortunately, but that's how it goes. Your voice is very soothing. The painting looks really great. And you look great too. Appreciate it. Very much appreciated. Amazing. Well, thanks guys. So okay, the tape that I use is called, if you go on Amazon and you type in artist tape, that's the kind of tape I use. It's supposed to be acid free and it doesn't rip the paper. At least when I use good paper, it doesn't rip the paper. So I use artist tape, and this is the 3/4 of an inch tape. And this is for this block, it is Saunders Waterford High White, blah, 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 whatever. 100% cotton, acid-free paper. And it's, I think it's 9 by 12. Yeah, 9 by 12 inches. So yeah, I mean, I think what could I have done better? I think maybe the coloring back here. I think I went too dark. I'm not a fan of the shape that I created. I think the rocks came out pretty well. I'm actually glad that I looked at the Sargent paintings because I think that really helped me just simplify my strokes and really understand, like, you know, the simple like 3 to 4 values of the rocks, you know, the light, this other plane, kind of a mid-tone plane of the rocks, and then just the darks on the rocks. So I think that helped, and just try to simplify breaking up the rocks for the most part. I like kind of the texture and the wax resist here, a little bit that showed through. The coloring's pretty nice. Yeah, the only thing, and I like the shadowing of the rocks. I think it really comes across well, the cooler shadows. I think I just would have went lighter back here. That's really all I can think of. I don't know. What do you guys think? Where did I buy the Sargent books? I bought them all on Amazon. They're getting pretty hard to find, and they're getting pretty expensive. I don't know that I'm going to keep them forever. You know, they're probably the only books I would ever really want to keep. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Thank you for watching and liking and everything. I hoped this was helpful in some way, and I hope hope you enjoyed the final result. I mean, it's not perfect, of course, but it rarely ever is. You know, there's always more I could do, or I could add a little bit more color to the water up here, kind of connect it a little bit more. You know, it's just, it's one of those things. I could lighten this. I could add some water and really scrub this off, kind of lighten that a bit. Maybe that would help. I'm almost tempted to try it just to push it a little bit more. But from far away, I mean, if you look it's hard to see, but you know, I don't know. Maybe I just leave it. I think we call it good, maybe. Yeah, I think this part came out really well. I think it really gets the effect. So yeah, if you guys have any questions or comments, last minute questions, comments, just let me know, of course. And I'm going to get off here in a minute or two. Thank you guys for tuning in, of course. And yeah, I mean, I guess that kind of, now that I lightened up the exposure here, you can kind of see the true, there we go. That's kind of what it really looks like, I think. Please put a final picture on Insta from far away if you can. Yeah, I might do that. I might. We'll see. But if you guys want to see some close-ups and stuff, this is pretty much it. You know, try to do a little bit of texture here at the end, some splattering, a little bit of splattering. Normally I do a lot more splattering. I kind of forgot, but I really love how loose it makes it look a lot of the times. I think this is kind of my favorite part of the painting, these rocks. I think I was really able to get these pretty well. More texture here. Yeah, I mean, I'm pretty happy overall, man. I'm pretty surprised that it came out pretty well overall, I think. So, please watercolor painting of an animal. Yeah, I might do that next time. I know somebody wanted, I think Amex Jam wanted a portrait, but I'm gonna work my way up to that. I think I'm gonna do it. If I do a portrait, I'm gonna draw the portrait first in pen and ink, kind of plan it out that way, and then do a watercolor painting based off of the. So it'll be two different live streams, kind of. Yeah. What looks like a cave back here? Yeah, it's just too dark, you know, it's just too dark. That's the problem. But anyway, guys, hope you enjoyed this. Hope you have a good evening, and take care of yourself. I'll see you on the next episode, next live stream. And yeah, a copy of a Sargent watercolor, that would be cool. Actually, let me show you guys really quickly before I get off. This was a little study that I did of the Sargent watercolor. So let me, it's in one of these books. I just saw it when I was looking through a minute ago. Let me try to find it again. So you guys can see. Actually, here it is. Here it is. Perfect. So this is my little version, just very small. And then this is the, I can't even get it all in the photo. This is the Sargent watercolor of it. You guys can see all of that, hopefully. And then I did like a small, this is almost just like a color study. I was trying to like see what kind of colors he used. It's very limited colors. So yeah, I kind of interpreted this painting he did into this little kind of color type of study. So it might be cool to do a few of these, maybe, or one of them or something, and just smaller little sketches like this that simplify things and get the color and the lighting. So yeah, it's a lot of fun, definitely a lot of fun. I mean, you can see the difference here in the colors he uses, or that I interpreted, compared to my painting. Big difference in some of the colors and stuff. Mine's very much more gray. And but there are some similarities in just the brush strokes, how I handled it, because that's the way that I paint, you know, just I tried to simplify things. So yeah, thank you guys, and yeah, maybe we'll do a copy of the Sargent or something next time. That'd be cool. Take care of yourself. Peace, my friends. Thanks for all the ideas, the suggestions. Thanks for watching. Thanks for tuning in. Maybe I'll see you tomorrow or the next day. We'll do another one. Peace.